Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing good. So, so today concept is we're going to look at command line arguments in Java. So basically, command line arguments means so you can able to. It's called as a runtime arguments. So what does it mean? Like if you wanted to pass the data at the time of runtime, whatever the data you are creating inside of a program, that's okay. So if you wanted to pass the data at the time of runtime while running the program after completion of a compilation, and after that the next step is execution part, right? So while executing the program, if you wanted to send some data, so those data is called as a runtime arguments or as command line arguments. So how to pass it, and how to read the data, and how to use the data inside of a program, let's see in this class. So let's create an example for it. So I'm creating a class name as a command line args. Now inside of it, I'm going to create a main method. So here, if you observe, for every program, we are writing this, right? String args, string array with the args as a name. So what does this mean? So this is the actual topic here in this today class. So this is a variable which you wanted to use it as a runtime arguments. Like if you send the data, so those data will come inside of this arguments, args. And you can name it as anything. Like in the string array only, those data will be coming inside of your program, right? So how to send the data, we will check it later. So how to read the data first. Let's say some data you're passing. At the time of runtime, you're sending the data to the program. So how to read the data, let's see. We will use a for loop for it. So as usual, like for a array, however, we are writing the code, right? So the same way. Now I'm starting with 0, I less than args.length, I plus plus. So why I'm taking less than of args.length, since it is an array. So I'm using a I as an index. So I'm starting with the 0, and it should be the length minus 1. So the last index should be length minus 1. So we are going before the length, less than of a length. That means it will not go equal to the length, right? So that's a way to loop the array. Now, for every time I will be the current index, right? So we will use the I as a current index to read the data. Args of I, right? So this will give you the current string for every iteration. So this is a way to read the data from the array by using a specific index, right? Now try to print it. So this is the printing statement. Now try to use the S. Okay. So the whole logic what we written is, let's say some data is coming. Let's hope some data is coming inside of this args as a string array. Now we return the code of a reading of a data of that arguments, a string array arguments. And we started with the 0 and end with the length minus 1. Now reading each and every index data and printing it in a system.out.println. Right now, let's try to pass the data to this program. So that's a very important thing. Now, first of all, save this program. Now create a package, create a folder. Let's name it as a command line args only. Go and give the same file name, same as the file name. .java, right? Save it. You have to save it as a .java only, all the Java files. Now let's check it whether that file existed in the D drive or not. Just create it. So you can see command line args just created, and there is a .java file is also created. So .java file creation is part is completed. So you have to compile it first. Now directly you can go like this. In the path location itself, you can type the cmd to open the current location of the command prompt. You can see here it is taking the current location, or else you can go manually, type cmd, open command prompt, come down. So we are at the D drive. The program is at the D drive instead of a cmd line args. So there is a command line args program is there, but we are currently in the C drive. How to change it? So this is a way to change the directory from one directory to the another directory. Now we are at the D drive here, you can see. So you can open a folder by using a CD. You can go inside of a folder. So the folder name is cmd line args. Now you can see we are at the inside of a D drive and cmd line arguments. Okay. Now we have to compile the code. javac space file name. What is the file name? As the file name is command line args dot java. So if everything goes fine in the compilation, it will create a dot class file, as we know, right? Try to compile it. If everything goes fine means, so if there is no error, basically, if there is no compilation errors in the program, it will create a dot class file. So you can see dot class file is created just now. Now we can able to execute the program. What is the command to execute the program? Java space file name, right? This is a ideal way to execute the program. If you have some logic inside of a main method, it will automatically execute it. But what is the logic here? What we written inside of it? So we are reading the data of our input args. So this args is empty now, as of now. If you directly execute Java space command line args, the runtime arguments will be empty. As of now, here it is an empty. You have to pass the data as a string, multiple strings you can pass it, right? How to pass it? Here itself, take a space and you can pass a group of strings that will be collected as a string array and it will take the input as a string array. Okay. Now pass the multiple strings. Like I would like to pass so cricketer names, let's say Sachin, Dravid, Rohit, Kohli, Dhoni. Okay. So these 5 names I have passed with the space separated. Remember, it should be a space separated. Okay. Now, if you pass this as a 5 strings as a space separated, internally it will take this input as a space separated strings. It will be converted as a string array with the file length, and it will be taken as an input of this program. Now we can able to read this. So already logic is implemented to read the data of a string array. Every data will become as an iteration. For every iteration, the current string will be come out and it will be printing. So let's see, is it working or not? You can see the output. So Sachin, Dravid, Rohit, Kohli, Dhoni. So 5 data I have passed as a space separated strings. So it will be collected as a string array. It has a functionality. It has a mechanism to convert it as a string array. So internally, right? Now according to our logic, so we have retrieved the data from the string array and we are reading the data by using this for loop and we are printing it. So this is how exactly happened in the output also. Yeah, this is a way to do this is a way to send the runtime arguments or command line arguments, and you can able to read the command line arguments by using this for loop. And this is a command line arguments argument in the main method. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.